Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the proposals or suggestions made by NITI Aayog for the farm economy in India. First of all, let us understand what is the current affair. NITI Aayog has recently released a strategy document and it was known as Strategy for New India at 75. So, in that particular document, NITI Aayog has made some key suggestions for the farm economy in India. NITI Aayog is a policy think tank of the government of India. And it conducts various researches, studies, etc. And on the basis of studies and research conducted by NITI Aayog, it has come out with the new document, that is Strategy for New India at 75, and in that particular document it has highlighted some suggestions for the farm economy in India. In this lecture we will look at the proposals of NITI Aayog for the farm economy in India. But before we move on, the document Strategy for New India has been discussed by me in 2 lectures which is available on StudyIQ channel. So please refer to 2 of the lectures that is made on Strategy for New India at 75 document of NITI Aayog. You will get a overall picture about the NITI Aayog's proposal on various sectors of Indian economy. Now moving on to the key proposals of NITI Aayog on farm economy. The first proposal was to convert the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices or the CACP into an agricultural tribunal. So what is CACP or Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices? What is the purpose of CACP? CACP is a decentralized agency of the government of India and it is the Agricultural Price Commission and it is an attached office to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare under the Government of India. So what is the main purpose of CACP? Since being a price commission, the main purpose is to recommend minimum support prices to the government. So the MSP or the minimum support price is determined by the government on the recommendation of CACP or the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices. So it is an expert body which recommends the minimum support prices to the government, and while recommending the MSP, it takes into account the cost of production, the trend in domestic and international market or the prices in the domestic market and in the international market, etc. And it is an attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So this is in brief about CACP. Now what is a proposal of NITI Aayog? NITI Aayog proposed that the CACP should be converted into an agricultural tribunal. So we will come to the details of it later in this lecture. Now moving on to the next proposal of NITI Aayog. NITI Aayog suggested for a replacement of MSP or the minimum support price with MRP or minimum reserve prices. So NITI Aayog suggested that MRP or minimum reserve prices should be considered for auctioning the farm produce. So what is meant by this minimum reserve price? So reserve price or minimum reserve price means a price that is acceptable for the owner of the produce or for the owner of any commodity. Let us take in general. So reserve price or minimum reserve price means for the auctioning of that particular commodity, the owner of the commodity will fix a minimum price and that is called the minimum reserve price. So this is the minimum price at which the auction will be conducted and this will be fixed by the producer or by the owner of that particular price. So what is the benefit of minimum reserve price? It will prevent the auction from being won by a bidder who offers a lower price than the items owner will accept. So this will ensure a minimum price for the owner. Now coming to our example, that is the farm commodity. So here the owner of the commodity is the farmer who is the producer of the commodity. So under the minimum reserve price or the MRP, the farmers will fix a minimum price at which the auction will be conducted. So this will ensure a minimum remuneration to the farmer. So that is minimum reserve price, and NITI Aayog proposed that MSP which is fixed by the CACP under the government of India should be replaced by a minimum reserve price. So this was the proposal of NITI Aayog. Now the third important proposal made by NITI Aayog was to set up government collection centers and warehouses at the village level and also at the block level. So it proposed that at the village level or the block level, which are the lowest levels, there should be a government collection center and also a warehouse. So these are the proposals made by the NITI Aayog. Now let us understand what are the concerns that are associated with these proposals. The first one regarding the tribunal. So NITI Aayog recommended that the CACP should be replaced by a administrative tribunal or agricultural tribunal. Now coming to the function of CACP, we have already seen that CACP is mandated to recommend the minimum support prices to the government. So this is the purpose of CACP. Now if CACP is replaced by a tribunal, what purpose will the tribunal meet? Because tribunals are basically meant to adjudicate the disputes. So the purpose of setting up tribunals is to adjudicate disputes, and it is not regarding any issue with the crop prices. So tribunals basically do not deal with the prices. Now if CACP is replaced by tribunal, who will do the duty of CACP to fix the minimum support price? So that is one major concern, because the function of CACP is entirely different from that of the function of a tribunal. So that is the first concern that is associated with it. Basically, prices are determined by various factors. We have seen that the cost of production is one factor. Second one is the demand and supply in the domestic market. Third factor would be the demand and supply in the international market or in the global market. And finally, the prices at the global market as well as in the local market. So all these factors are considered by CACP. Now, a tribunal does not have the expertise to involve in the market and make decisions based on factors like demand, supply, etc. Will definitely bring a shortcoming in the tribunal if CACP is replaced by the tribunal. Now the second concern is regarding the minimum reserve price. The second recommendation of NITI Aayog was that MSP should be replaced by MRP. So MSP is minimum support price, MRP is minimum reserve price. So what makes the conflict here? MSP at present, it is determined by keeping in view many factors. For example, the cost of production, the demand factors, the supply factors, etc. And along with all these market factors, the farmers' interests are also being taken into consideration. So one main target of MSP is to ensure minimum prices to the produce of the farmers. So farmers' interests are also taken into consideration among other factors. NITI Aayog acknowledged the fact that MSP is only a partial solution to addressing the farmers' distress. Yes, it is definitely true. MSP cannot completely address the issue of farmers' distress or solve the issue of farmers' income. But what is the problem here? MRP has been recommended. MRP is minimum reserve price. But for the implementation of MRP, various basic necessities are required. For example, efficient agricultural market. In India, we have inefficient agricultural markets. There is also a diversity in trading systems in India. There is a key role played by the middlemen in Indian agricultural markets. So all these challenges in Indian agricultural sector will pose a threat to the proper implementation of MRP. Now the third concern is regarding the expansion of storage. The third recommendation was that at the village level and also at the block level there should be government collection centers and also warehouses. So this was the third recommendation by NITI Aayog. The practicality of this recommendation is the question here. We have seen that over the past many years, government has taken many efforts, many investments have been put in for improving the crop procurement, storage infrastructure, etc. But government was unable to achieve many of its targets. Government was able to provide storage and warehousing for some wheat and rice cultivators or wheat and rice growing regions. But for many other crops and for many other regions, government was unable to expand the storage facility, warehousing facility, collection center or procurement facility, etc. Now the proposal of NITI Aayog is to create a collection center and also a warehouse at the village level and every block level. So there is an impracticality in achieving this target or suggestion by the NITI Aayog. So these are the major concerns which are associated with the proposals made by NITI Aayog in its document Strategy for New India at 75. Now, along with the three major proposals which we have already discussed, NITI Aayog has made other small proposals as well. Let us see what are the other proposals made by NITI Aayog. First one, NITI Aayog suggested that the power and the water subsidies should be ended or eliminated. So, government has been providing power subsidy and water subsidy. These are done by the state governments to the agricultural sector. So, this should be replaced by micro irrigation facilities. Now, second proposal was that the government should bring in a stable export policy. That means a stable export policy will help the farmers to gain maximum revenue or income for their produce. So, this was the second proposal made by the NITI Aayog. Third one, NITI Aayog proposed the dilution of Essential Commodities Act. So, what is Essential Commodities Act? Under Essential Commodities Act, a list of essential commodities are made and the trading of essential commodities are restricted. For example, if a particular agricultural produce is put under the essential commodity list, it cannot be exported or there is a restriction put on its export. So, this will affect the farmer's choice of selling their commodity and this will bring down the opportunities for income earning from the produce of the farmer. So, dilution of ECA or the Essential Commodities Act was another proposal made by NITI Aayog. Now, another proposal was to promote contract farming. Contract farming will help in the mobilization and pooling of small and fragmented land holdings. So, this will have a economies of scale advantage for the farmers. So, small and marginalized farms can be brought together and farming activity can be held in that larger pieces of land. This will ensure the farmers better produce and thereby better income. So, this was another proposal. Next one was to encourage futures trading for better price discovery. Another proposal was to facilitate sale of farm produce at relatively higher prices at off seasons. At the off seasons, the supply would be lesser and the demand will be the same. So, what happens when supply is less and demand is more, the prices will increase. So, this will ensure farmers better income. So, this was another proposal made by NITI Aayog. Another proposal made by NITI Aayog was that the government or the fiscal end should provide full-fledged infrastructure on post-harvest value chain. So, this will help the farmers to achieve or to avail the financial or fiscal incentives given by the government. At the same time, this will also ensure better price discovery for the farmers. So, these are all some of the suggestions or proposals provided by NITI Aayog, and being a policy think tank, NITI Aayog has conducted various studies and researches in this field and come up with these recommendations. But ultimately, the success of all these recommendations rightly lays in its implementation. So, now the purpose of the government and policy makers and also different stakeholders is to implement these recommendations to the maximum possible extent. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page or you can email me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you. I wish you all a very good day.